Hey everybody, Sam here with another In Defense of Bad Movies Minisode, in which we briefly wrap up the previous episode we did. We talk about the new movie that we are going to discuss, and we lately have been doing an episode of Themes Like Old Times. Today we have a little bit something special, a little extra for you. Of course, 2 weeks ago we discussed the 1977 Pete's Dragon, the marriage of animation and live action. A bad marriage it was too. It was not great. Not a good movie. Actually, the animation marriage with live action was probably the worst, or the least offensive part of it, but that's neither here nor there. Once again, thanks to Loren for defending that movie for some reason. And speaking of that movie, as you know, the reason we did it was because they released a new live action, and well, I want to say live action, but it's also live action and animation. It's just the animation is computer generated and it looks more real. They did a new one this year, 2016 reboot of Pete's Dragon, and we watched it. And this will be a new segment on the show, if we can finagle it every month, where we will discuss a different movie, just a really brief discussion of a movie we watched. In this case, since we had just seen the original, it was Pete's Dragon. Lauren, Laura, Bobby, and I saw it recently, and here is our discussion of it.
Hey everyone, we just came from watching the new Pete's Dragon in theaters, and we decided that
Wait, don't let Laura talk.
We're gonna tell you how bad it is. It's so bad. It's so bad.
What's happening? I don't understand.
Don't see it. No, apparently I'm overruled in this verdict.
What's
here.
happening to our loyal listeners is Laura is me during the My Best Friend's Wedding podcast.
Nope, because that's a good movie, and this is not a good movie. So
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. So you guys like the movie?
I did.
I quite liked it, yeah.
I really liked it.
I don't know. I like 10 minutes in, I'm like, I do not like this movie already.
Really?
I want to say like a full, 2 minutes in, I was like, oh, I'm in. Like after the opening scene.
Little Pete, breaking my heart.
We should say it should be obvious, but spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So just
we won't do
spoiler
climax,
alert
but
for the
stuff.
first 2 minutes doesn't count.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, we probably should.
Yeah. I thought viciously murdering Elliot at the end was totally uncalled for.
Well, yeah. But
I was surprised at how much Elliot looked like the old dragon from the other movie.
I assume that was kind of on purpose, but with let's have this only be an echo and nothing else in the movie will reference the original.
That was
and I was hoping.
Interesting.
I was crossing my fingers, ready to just cackle at any inside baseball reference.
Lauren wanted to be the only person in the theater laughing for a few moments.
Because the movie's real fresh since we just did the original. I'm I'm ready for some deep cuts and nothing.
No. Different town name, just everything was.
They're in the forest to be
People
as far
in
away
the
from
town
the
are
ocean.
so weird.
You don't like mountain townies?
They're just so odd. It looked like they walked out into a zombie apocalypse because everyone was just watching him in slow motion run around and huh? Don't bark at my dog. Don't you do that.
You know what was interesting though is this movie was less racially diverse than the 1977 one we watched.
That's a really good point. There was at least a black man in town.
Was it though? I mean, the black man at least got speaking parts in this one.
Oh, you're right. The sheriff
we're
was.
terrible.
Yeah.
The sheriff was near. Because he was from The Wire. And I knew he was because every time there is, this is not racist, an African-American actor of character note that Sam reacts to, I'm like, oh, he must have been on The Wire.
Not everyone, but yeah, a good percentage of them.
Did you say she in the movie?
I
He did a few times.
Because he showed up and I went, oh, that dude's from The Wire. And then I heard Sam right away go, she.
I can't help it.
Classic character actor. I've seen him in many things. It's really good.
The only reason I did it the second time too was because it totally made sense with the movie. It was like when he saw the dragon or something like that. Yeah.
You were like, I don't know if anyone heard me the first time. Make sure this theater full of children hears me say shit.
I feel awful now. I'm sorry I ruined your. Laura, is that why you didn't like it? Did I ruin your experience?
Yeah, it was you.
What was more distracting? You going she or the little girl that was going like blah, 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 blah.
I heard the kid do that.
That was at least cute. I was just
It was
obnoxious.
kind of cute. You were very quiet and respectful.
I just figured we were all granted like a peek into Laura's brain while it was going on. Some little girl going. Blah, blah, blah.
That was Laura's astral projecting.
Yeah, it was me.
Because I've certainly sat through movies I hate, and like that I was very much enjoying the film, but just now imagining you like sitting there for 2 hours going, ugh.
At one point, Laura got up, and Loren thought she was going to tell the kid to be quiet.
Really fast, like it was shy of storming out. I was
Like,
a little
I'm going
worried.
to tell this little bitch off.
Laura got the sniffles in the middle, or toward the end of the movie, and then as soon as the credits rolled, she leaned over and goes, my nose started itching during part of it, and I was sniffling, and Sam looked at me, and I think he was crying, and I want to be totally clear that I was not crying.
I didn't say that he was crying. I said he looked at me like I was crying.
Yeah, that's what
and
I
then I
meant.
looked back at him
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
look, there's no tears here. There are no tears
For
coming
the record,
from us.
I wasn't crying, but I was misty-eyed.
Laura, can you elaborate or what's the word I'm looking for?
Elucidate?
Elucidate's
I
a
don't
good
know.
one, you know. Voice in any way the things that you did not like about the movie. Can you
I don't know. I just feel like the story, you know, because you have Pete who lives in the forest for 6 years, I think they said, and he can survive with Elliot the dragon, and I don't know. There's just something about it that I just like. I find myself going like, no, I can't suspend my disbelief there. Like I'm like, no, he wouldn't survive. He'd be malnourished, you know.
they took care of him.
And no, like a dragon can't take care of a kid.
The rabbit, like they caught rabbits and Elliot cooked him.
Oh my god, that's what they were catching. It wasn't for pets?
That's horrifying.
Foods.
I thought
Because
it was just.
you see him pick a mushroom later.
That's true. And he was eating mushrooms, and maybe Elliot knows the poisonous ones, so he's able to like guide.
But you need
Pete
more
to,
than
like, get them.
mushrooms for...
And the rabbits.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah.
They're rabbit. I believe that.
You could be a vegetarian in the woods, I suppose, but
That was dark.
There's no soy.
I mean, I don't think that rabbit specifically. That rabbit lived a long and happy life.
Because he caught the rabbit, looked so happy, and then I was waiting for him to break the neck or something, and I'm like, no, it's a kid's movie. But then
They cut that scene out.
He set the rabbit down, and then there were so many close-ups of that rabbit just looking really adorable.
I think that Pete doesn't really, he's not a part of the process. Like, Elliot goes away and, like, brings home McDonald's for Pete. So he doesn't really equate, much like I am with food, like,
I
meat
can't
in the
even
grocery
picture-
store. Like, he just thinks, like, all right, Elliot, it's bring me takeout.
Okay. So, what else?
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, the acting wasn't bad in it. I just didn't think it was that great.
Way better than the 1970s.
Yeah, it was way better.
If we're doing comparison.
Way better than the original.
I thought those kids crushed it. Like,
Yeah, they were
the adults were all good. Like,
they
no
were
one was
fine.
bad, but those two kids
Really?
I thought
I
were
thought
great.
the kids were kind of weak, actually.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't believe what's her name running around the forest without wearing heels. It did not make sense to me. What's
You
her
look
name?
too comfortable,
Yeah,
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard. That's it.
I thought Pete especially, because so much of his acting was not verbal. It was just, it was really good. And then the girl was good too.
I have a question that I meant to ask earlier, but now that we're rolling, I guess I'll ask anyone. So again, if you haven't seen the movie, you totally should. If you have any intention to do so. If you don't have a heart like Laura, then don't bother. But when people touched the dragon, only two people, and his fur changed, what was that all about?
I think that his natural color is that bright emerald, and whenever he's feeling like
Affection,
joy or emotional connection, or like even just comfort, like, you know, he has like chameleon abilities, or like a omnibus Rex, whatever. That was the first thing I thought when he went invisible, like, oh, just like Jurassic Park. Oh, that's a terrible choice. Except in this instance,
they didn't
it was
use
good.
it in Jurassic Park, really.
And so I think it was moments of like emotional reaction, because he is able to change, you know, and blend in with his surroundings really well. And so I think when he would go his natural color of bright green was like, he responded like when Pete touched him and when Grace touched him. And I think it was, you know, a positive emotional reaction to something.
I agree with that.
That's fair.
It was neat. I like that detail. Like, it's just a neat little attention to detail that they put in.
And they put the little Mystique sound effect when he was changing too.
Yeah. As the scales turn over.
Yeah.
Did they really?
Something
it wasn't
like that.
exactly
There was a
like
rustle.
that. Yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
How about you guys? What if to just add a counter opinion to Laura's? What do you guys like about it?
I had a thought. And it's
okay. Thank you. You just proved my point.
We're good. Dragon is
okay,
nice.
no, I remember what I was going to say. No, I really like that because I had a thought during the movie, and I'm like, what was the other half of that thought? It feels equal parts E.T. and Peter Pan. And I really liked that.
I hate both those movies.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I haven't seen E.T. and I've only seen Hook. The Hook version of Peter Pan.
That's the only version of Peter Pan you've seen?
Uh-huh.
By the way, Hook is not a version of Peter
Great
Pan.
movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Hook is Peter Pan fan fiction.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway. Yeah, not a good movie, so.
But, I mean, it's, it feels very E.T., but it also has the thematic through line of, this kid who's been, kind of indulging this child fantasy in the woods and has to kind of, come to the realization that he needs to rejoin society and grow up.
I still think that the story would benefit greatly if they made Pete more of Elliot more like imaginary, like that question of like whether he's real or not. Like they gave it away too fast.
I was really glad that they got it out of the way, just because it feels the kind of movie it was. I didn't want to hear it to see the whole like in the 77 one, the whole there's a dragon, blah blah blah,
and like not that, but just the fact to kind of to see like whether or not this kid, because I didn't feel that connection that he felt with the humans, like there wasn't enough of a conflict for me between what he felt with the humans versus what he felt with Elliot. So I don't know how. I think that's kind of my issue with the story in general.
Would you believe him surviving 6 years in the forest if it was a question if Elliot existed?
Possibly.
Because you didn't believe him surviving in the forest with Elliot. So.
No, and I mean, I guess it's kind of like the Jungle Book, kind of like that's where that kind of reminds me of, like him surviving in the forest. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. The story. I just don't like the story. I think that's where I'm going to settle
That's
on
an
it.
interesting question. Do you like the Jungle Book?
No, not really.
It's funny you mentioned E.T. too, and I kind of
I've never seen E.T. too.
It's really good.
Oh, E.T. when they go to the planet.
Well, I mean, it kind of sucked that they undercut everything, that they kill E.T. first off. No, I'm just kidding. But, because I was thinking while it was happening, I'm like, it reminded me of Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting to see all these people who grew up in Spielberg coming of age and emulating him, like with this and Stranger Things and of course Super 8 a few years ago and things like that. And it's cool.
It didn't make a big deal of it, but this took place around like late 80s, early 90s.
Did
right?
it?
Did it?
I was sort of trying to catch the timeline and could not. And
There were subtle references maybe with fashion and cars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Wasn't present day?
I don't think so. Oh,
obviously,
cell phones or
no
anything,
cell
right?
phones. I also don't know about cars. Everything. It was definitely nothing to really pinpoint
Yeah.
it. Like,
the most glaring fashion one for me was Little Pete's outfit in the car on the way over. That felt very 80s. Like, it didn't feel like someone would dress their kid up
Well,
in that.
I mean, it could be like mid 80s and then 90s now.
I was
Yeah,
thinking that.
that's what I was thinking.
So, Bryce Dallas Howard has a photo of her family, and the photo
Is black and white.
like an old timey
very old.
looking.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the movie's intent was to make it timeless, but it was hard. I thought about that. It was hard to pin down.
The one thing kind of that I think will age the movie, aside from, Elliot looked cool. The special effect was cool, but this is a special effect that I think in a decade or so will look a little goofy.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
What are special effects going to be like in a decade?
Because
they look good now.
There sometimes when they're interacting with him, he looks great, and then other times just the way they animate him, because they lean harder into the cartoony stuff. It did look a little jarring, but also the soundtrack choice sometimes felt a little weird to me.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't.
Like the sort of bluegrassy mountain
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
I really enjoyed that.
Did you?
Actually. Yeah.
What
I was thinking, like, I might buy that soundtrack.
I don't know.
Was it the lack of candle in the candle?
It was the lack of candle in the water.
More singing.
I think I think it was I could have done without vocal tracks in the movie, I think.
Okay.
And I think it's the first one. I don't remember what the song was, but
Singing about dragons? I mean, over the credits or later?
oh no, the dragon song was cool.
Yeah, okay.
But the first one I noticed, it was like Pete when he's like entering society. There's a song that was very blatantly about feeling lost or something. And I'm like, all right, it's a little on the nose.
I think the Lumineers. I saw they sang a song in the movie. That might have been them.
I can see that argument.
Yeah, I could see that. Even though I did like the music, I'm not saying
It's
I
right, Marcus
needed it
Valley.
in the movie.
Yeah, that part did feel jarring because you're like, why am I thinking about the song when I'm trying to be invested in him escaping?
And it's like more, it's a more modern folksy kind of music. So that's why I think maybe in a decade or so when people watch this movie again, it'll feel a little bit dated as opposed to just doing a score for the movie.
By then, Disney will be on their second round of remaking movies.
Yeah.
And so they're just going to keep rebooting like comics.
Can't wait till they do all the, like, the scraping the bottom of the barrel, like the bad Disney movies, like all those Kurt Russell ones, the computer wore
They're
tennis
for the
shoes.
executives.
The bad executive. That would be funny. Oh.
Is it a matter of time before they do the Black Cauldron? The live action Black Cauldron?
Oh my gosh, a contemporary Black Cauldron would kick ass.
Yeah, that would.
Because I think I'm the
Interesting.
only one that still kind of likes Black Cauldron. And if you do it like in a Game of Thrones world,
Still kind of.
oh man.
Because there was a time when people really liked Black Cauldron.
Yeah.
It's called the 80s, and everyone was me.
I have a feeling if you went and watched it now, it would suffer from just the animation.
I know I've watched it
Remember we watched
in like
Sound
my
of-
20s.
What is it? The Sword in the Stone?
Yeah.
And how bad the animation was, how cheap it was.
Yeah, I loved Sword in the Stone, and when we watched it recently, I was really struck by like, wow.
I think
this
you're going to get the same thing with Black
cheap.
Cauldron. I think it was before they started pouring money into it.
But
like
they were
Little
just starting
Mermaid.
to get into digital effects, I think, at that point. And I could be wrong. Don't quote me.
Still.
I loved Gurgi. I had a doll and a book. And I would practice drawing with it. Remake!
Well, you totally get Andy Serkis to play Gurgi, right?
See?
Especially since they totally screwed his Jungle Book movie. That's totally not going to happen.
It's not
anymore.
gonna happen?
It's on like hiatus, but it's totally not going to happen.
Okay, guys, so we're gonna end this
gonna
right
talk for like a
now,
half hour
and
about
we're
Disney
just gonna tell you don't
We're
go
gonna
see
shift into
Peach
Black
Dragon, okay?
Dragon.
Don't see it. All right,
Charming.
we'll catch you in our next movie. Bye.
See ya.
Bye. I'm not ready to say goodbye. No, I'm kidding.
As I said before, we will try to be doing those regularly, and in fact, next time we may have one that also relates to the movie we're about to see. Our next movie we're going to do is, I believe it's called The Blair Witch Project 2. Probably should have done my homework. It might be called Blair Witch 2. Let's find out, shall we? I'm going to do a Google search. It is called Book of Shadows Blair Witch 2. We will have another guest offender. This will be my close personal friend, Ronnie Roberts. You may know him as he was one of the interlopers that came in and... Interlopers or usurpers? Whatever. They came in with Jesse and Leah and did... They came in with Jesse and Leah and did Jingle All the Way. He was also there for Leah's defense of Sucker Punch. Seems like neither of those have good taste in movie because... Next up is Blair Witch 2. Again, to be fair, I didn't see this. It might be really good, but Rotten Tomatoes says it's 13%. It's 4 out of 10 on IMDb. Metacritic is 15%. So it does not fare well. It is scheduled to drop on September 13th. 3 days later, September 16th, is the opening of Blair Witch. The new, I don't know if it's a reboot, a continuation, or what. The new version of that movie. So again, another timely movie that we're going to watch. We've been doing a lot of those lately. I like this. So maybe we will afterwards go watch the movie and discuss it and see what we think about it. Maybe not. I don't know. We will see, because if the movie does poorly with critics, we might just skip that one and do another movie. Anyway. The only other thing we have left to do today is Themes Like Old Times. Take it away. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Themes Like Old Times. I am joined by my co-host Loren.
Hi everyone.
Hello, and today we're going to be talking about the theme song for... I forget what it's called already. Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow!
Is that why you were waiting for me to say it?
So
I thought you would jump
exciting.
in.
Oh no, I was waiting for you to say it so I could respond, much in the style of the song.
So, Reading Rainbow was a PBS
Yes.
show. Let's say locally, for me, KCET.
Greatest PBS show. One of the greatest PBS shows of all time.
Right up there with Wishbone and
Nova. Kids love Nova.
Ah.
If there's one thing, the theme song to Nova, so delightful.
You know what, though? I was going to say Masterpiece Theater and as another one, and you know, you could have made the same joke that kids love Masterpiece Theater, but in fact, or maybe that was Murder Mystery, or
Murder Mystery.
Murder Mystery.
Because it had the gory
The opening was amazing.
I was obsessed with that as a
never
child.
lived up to it.
No, and then it was
as a
just like
kid.
British people in a field talking about a murder. Now, of course, that's my crack, and I love
course,
it.
yeah,
but as a
of course.
child, that gory
But
opening
yeah,
was the best.
that opening was amazing.
They were foolish to get rid of it. Now
Did they get rid of it? I thought I saw something recently where they had...
They don't do it anymore. Now in the opening to Masterpiece Mystery, which is like the division
I
of
know I've seen
Masterpiece,
something like
they
that.
include some images from it as a
Okay.
nod to, but it is not the full glorious thing.
That's lame.
But we're not talking
I mean,
about Masterpiece Mystery.
You know, we're not. We're talking about Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow.
So, Lauren, I was lazy and did not do much research on this one. Tell me about Reading Rainbow.
I found a font of knowledge going through online and like looking at a couple different things, not too much.
Oh, I like
But
using the
then-
knowledge font on my Word documents.
Yeah, that's a really good one. It seems statelier and like more confident.
I agree.
But the place I found the most concise information is on the community wiki. That's the television show community, because they're famously, like world famously, is the episode where we discover that Troy is obsessed with LeVar Burton. And Pierce has arranged for him to meet him, but that's too much. And he freaks out because LeVar Burton is his god, and like now he ends up huddled in the bathroom singing the Reading Rainbow song to himself because he's just having a panic attack with the idea of meeting his hero. And
So because he's singing that song, they include does he sing the whole song?
And so he sings a pretty good part of it.
Okay.
Should we play it? No. We can cut that part.
No, well,
And yes, and so a part of the whole community wiki is an actual page that goes to the Reading Rainbow theme song.
that's very funny.
And so it tells us the lyrics, and it gives us a bit of the history. Obviously, we know Reading Rainbow, amazing show, encouraging children to read since January 5th, 1983, and ran through 2006 on November 10th.
Oh, it's not running anymore, huh?
No, I know they're trying to kickstart it back up. I'm not sure where they are in that. So as of this posting, we've not done the research into where they are with that.
You said kickstart it like Kickstarter, or just that?
Kickstarter.
Then we should add to
If
that.
it is not done already, we totally should. We should take all of the profits from this episode that we make.
Yeah. And all
give
of
them-
our millions of listeners should, of course, go to their local internet and put in whatever it is, kickstarter.com/Reading Rainbow maybe, and donate.
Did you watch Reading Rainbow as a kid?
I did. Yeah. I don't remember much of it. I remember the kids, they would like summarize a book and then say, don't take my word for it.
That's right.
And then encourage you to read the book.
But it was infuriating because I want to know the end. You just teased it. Now tell me what happened.
What else did LeVar Burton do?
He would go on adventures. There was a theme in every episode and something that would relate to a book. And he would
A theme in every
sort
episode.
of-
The butterflies in the sky.
just something that would take him out, like into the world. Like, this week, kids, we're gonna go to an island because we're reading a book about a kid that lives on the island or something like that. Like, he had his book that he was talking through, and he would have some experience that related to that book.
Okay.
And then the kids at the end would have a few more recommendations.
Were they related to the theme too, or were they just... I thought they were just...
I don't remember. As a child, they were random, but I didn't really process deep themes when I was 5.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But oh man, I love the show. It's so good. And the theme song is perfect. And I will only accept the original version as we're discussing
There is a newer version.
Right. The original was written by Steve Horlick, Dennis Neil Kleinman, and was performed by Tina Fabrique. And she's got that amazing, like, kind of wail. Like, she puts some sass on it. Like, it's so earnest. I love, like, the long notes they hit. Like, they are just entranced by the magic of reading, and you can do anything. And then that only ran, though, until 1999, and they replaced that version with one sung by Shaka Khan. And we actually listened to that one for the first time tonight.
Now, before you say anything about it, musical legend. She's terrific.
She's done great things. We won't dispute that. But her Reading Rainbow theme is crap, and I hate her. That might be strong.
It might just be in compared to the original
one. The perfect one.
Which you grew up on.
Which is magical and simple, and it's a bit of an R&B song. It's slowed down, and it seems a little more lackadaisical. She's not as impressed by, like, the power of reading. It's a little sad.
Yeah, she's like, reading is good, music is better, kids. That's what,
Exactly. Be cool, join a band, don't read in the library with all these nerds. And then there was one other version that I did want to cover in our episode. The very best being the original from Tina Fabrique. But there is also, I think in response to the talks of the Kickstarter happening, there is a great version on Funny or Die that I recommend everyone watching, starring LeVar Burton. And it is a reimagining of the theme song that I think everyone should enjoy.
It was pretty fun. And if the new series is like that, I will be much more inclined to watch it.
That's the, like, HBO version of Reading Rainbow, because just hints there's, like...
Because
songs about, like, I can become a god just through reading books, and, like, LeVar Burton becoming stunned by his own horrible power, and it turns violent and scary.
Because let's face it, I would like the show to be back, but I'm not going to watch it. That's a kid's show.
Yeah, you're grown up. You read real books.
But if the Funny or Die version was on, I would watch that. So,
come on, Netflix.
Yeah,
get off your high horse. This is just up your alley.
They brought back Pee-wee. All right, shall we sing this song?
Let's sing it.
This is going to be rough because, well, I mean, if you're listening to this, you know I'm not a great singer.
You're a beautiful singer.
Oh, you're lovely.
All right.
Okay. Oh,
okay. So we're gonna start it with some of, like, the magical.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Before we start singing,
great.
The music is so fun.
I love it. It's 80s, and I don't know, it's synth and, like, just magical little dots of, like, imagination and hope. And, like,
imagination. Okay. Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go anywhere, friends to know and ways to grow. A reading rainbow, reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book. A reading rainbow. Reading rainbow. Reading rainbow. Reading rainbow. Reading rainbow.
It's so magic. You can't, every time we've gone through it, you can't not dance. Like, it's just so,
Next time we need to figure out who's going to be the high and who's going to be the low.
Why, both of us, always, because we're great.
That's true. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go anywhere, friends to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. A reading rainbow. A reading rainbow. A reading rainbow. A reading
All right, well, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And we will be back again in 2 weeks as Ronnie Roberts defends Blair Witch 2, Book of... God, why would it starts a Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2? Why wouldn't it start with Blair Witch? Whatever. Anyway, join us then as we discuss that one. Okay, talk to you later, everyone. Bye.